He hasn't really, but he's still very aggressive, and I think the win ratio of this tournament is about people not comboing York with the proper things. They're just running it in standard team comps. It's really all about synergizing, and he's almost a cheese pick, but people are trying to make him a standard pick in this tournament. Either way, Dignitas does not want to get cheesed, so they end up banning up the York.
Yeah, they've still not changed all of their names if I'm looking closely at that one.
There may be a Bandit Keith.
I could see Bandit Keith, which I'm guessing is probably going to be I'm a Cutie Pie, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to have a look at your screen since I'm not in game. They've started without me, damn them. The ban's coming in. Now, Alistair's a pretty standard ban. Alistair's either been banned or picked, I think, pretty much in every match so far. I'd be interested to see what the stats are on that one. Malphite also become a fairly standard ban. What will he go with on that first pick, though? That's the question. Vladimir ban? I'm not too sure that's warranted, maybe. I mean, Team Dynamic, yeah, they've been strong with that, but honestly, does it warrant a ban?
It's just Dignitas' style. I've seen it being picked very early on as a top laner or a mid laner. It might just be that Skara or Crumbs don't want to lane against that with whatever champion they're preparing to practice with. Vladimir's honestly been extremely strong for a really long time. It's hard to have a bad game on Vladimir. No matter what, it seems they get their farm, they throw down their ult on team fights, and they just amp everyone else. So it might just be Dignitas doesn't like that, and they don't feel like playing it themselves. So it's just couldn't think of anything else to ban, is what I can tell.
Yeah, so Corki Nunu being picked up for Team Dynamic. Gragas, of course. So Gragas has been someone that has been banned, I think, pretty much every game, and it looks like Skara is going to get his way with it and have Gragas in there. He's been a fantastic Gragas. Gragas, everyone's been fantastic.
Kind
on
of
Gragas
exploded
lately.
onto the scene there. It was
I blame Alex Each.
One-shotting people with Gragas has become a common occurrence in a lot of these games. Zion Spartan, we saw play a mean Italy last night. 15 or 16 kills, just
absolutely
roaming around.
Dominated. And, you know, there was a rumble in that game as well. We've seen Lux, actually. Would Lux get locked in? Ironically, Froggen really wants to play Lux. He wants. In fact, it was you who was discussing it with. He wanted you to nerf Anivia, didn't he? So he could play Lux.
He could play Lux. And Team Dynamic has been putting Lux in the champion spot this whole tournament and then swapping off of it. So they're just baiting us into wanting to see that amazing champion. Unfortunately, it looks like they're swapping around to Orianna, who's not that cool of a pick, and the lock-in from Nidalee. That's going to be an exciting top lane matching up against Rumble. Yeah, and
Orianna, we saw absolute amazing play from Ocelot this other week, and it was really very well played. I mean, they really carried SK. I wouldn't just say, you know, Yellow Star and Kevin did a fantastic job, but Ocelot himself in the middle really highlighted Orianna play once again.
I want to see actually what Dignitas is talking about as they go for these last two picks.
That's not even like yeah. Like
what do you have in mind?
The thing is, we're already mobile enough to dodge it because we have like a bunch of mobility.
So we're for sure 1v2.
Yep.
Yeah. Skeet dog. Taking people to their faces.
Wow.
Right in Nintendo's face.
I hope they're not listening in right now.
I really hope they are.
I hope they are.
They probably are.
They're listening.
I hope they're not listening in right now. Yes, we are, guys.
Yeah.
Perfect timing, I think, there to get Skara.
Sneaky MLG listening into their conversations.
They knew it was coming. It's like, I wonder if they're listening. So they're all talking about getting Nintendo there.
Yeah, they want to just dump on Nintendo a little bit, so to speak. Strong picks there. It seems like they had pretty much made up their minds before they even had a chance to pick, so they've been practicing so much. These team comps are very standard for them, and they knew exactly what they wanted to do there.
Yeah, they've been practicing pretty hardcore. I know, obviously, speaking with Travis, Skara's been in LA, staying there. They've been practicing pretty hardcore, and they're saying, yeah, we've got things still hidden away. Because when they were saying, I was like, there's not really that many secret strats out there now. We've seen quite a lot of it. But they still think there is secret stuff. I don't think they're going to be showing it at this tournament. This is a fairly standard team comp that they pulled out here. Rumble on that top lane. It's going to be good to see how that was going to work out. And, of course, it's going to be I'm a Cutie Pie, a.k.a. what is he known on there?
Sito Keba.
Yeah, this is going to confuse us. But I guess they are your picks. And you know what? How do you think those two teams stack up against each other?
I think we're going to see a really close game here right after the break.
I'm currently suffering from a severe traumatic brain injury. I just want to give up so bad, but I can't. I've got to fight on. This is a text message that caused a car accident that changed my life forever.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in MLG Raleigh. And as you can see, Dignitas versus Dynamic just starting on your screen. In the blue team, it will be Dignitas. And against them is Team Dynamic. This is the winner bracket. And of course, so both these teams going pretty strong. And always Nunu going to face check straight into this bush. You can see Scar's going to roll out that barrel straight away towards him, giving his way his position, knows exactly where they are. And as you can see, if you're just unsure of their names, obviously top is going to be Crumbs, a.k.a. Keith. What's he called? Bandit Keith?
Bandit Keith.
That is Crumbs in that top lane. And of course, it is Sito Kaliba. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Names is going to be I'm a Cutie Pie, which is just...
I'm just going to have to call him Ezreal and Rumble.
It's actually against the rules to rename yourself. The rules do state you should have the name. So if you were to get picky, if Team Dynamic were to actually get picky after this game, they could say, actually, they broke the rules, which would be pretty bad sportsmanlike, but it definitely screws us commentators over. So we're not seeing anyone level 1 pokes. Team Dynamic just keeping things at bay. And I guess if any team is aware of ward positioning, it is Team Dynamic, Team Dignitas, I should say, after that Moscow 5 game, because that one single ward in Game 1 in the World Championships really lost them that game.
Now we see a lot of Nidalee traps actually coming down by Zion Spartan early into the game, completely warding off this opening. Scar's going to walk in and just get rid of those, so if they want to invade at some point, they can. Takes a bit of damage, but I think overall that's going to be worth it for him, just so if they want to invade, they have that thought of a potential invade there.
Yeah, as it is at the moment, no one really going for anything. That's going to be Orianna leashing off and starting off on that blue buff.
And a 2v2 lane actually forming top lane. In the select, we heard Dignitas saying we're absolutely doing 1v2. Well, Team Dynamic had the exact same thought, and they're waiting with 2 men in that brush right now.
Yeah, actually, where's I Will Dominate going to go? He's going to go towards the Wraiths. Is he going to go straight for blue? Did he use that smite up early? No, he didn't. He could well go straight for the red. Instead, it looks like he's going to just come around, just show himself. Oh, it is a 1v2. Well, actually, it's not going to be. It's a 2v1. Sona's actually going to not go up there. Yeah, immediately spotted that ward get placed straight in the river, and they immediately walked that out. So it's going to be the 2 AD supports in the top, which means it's going to be Nidalee versus Rumble down that bottom lane. And of course, I Will Dominate, who did just try to steal the Wraiths away, wasn't really going to go for it, had to back straight out of it. So Rumble versus Nidalee, how do you stand with this one?
It's a tricky one. Zion Spartan had this advantage earlier on. I think Rumble's going to be able to... Actually, no, I actually give most of this to Nidalee. Pre-5 Rumble is actually fairly strong, and then he'll have about 1 level of advantage until Nidalee hits 6, in which case he's going to be able to jump on and bully Rumble a bit. This is a tough matchup for Bandit Keith down in the bottom lane, whether or not Zion Spartan wants to just get aggressive on him. Nidalee, one of the strongest laners in the game, to be completely honest, and it's very tough to match up against it.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see how Scar is going to level up that Gragas. I remember he had a discussion with, I think it was Wild Turtle did an hammer, didn't he? And he was asked him about his Gragas, of how he played it differently. I think he leveled up the barrel, was it?
No, Scar likes, obviously everyone max barrel first, then it's about the second skill. Scar likes to max Drunken Rage second, where Wild Turtle likes to max the Body Slam, the E second. Scar says he gets more damage reduction, just because anytime he body slams, he's going to get 1 or 2 auto attacks in anyway, so it makes up for the damage differential on Body Slam. That's Scar's argument, at least.
Yep, and he will get in depth on that argument as well. Zion Spartan, of course, I'm pretty sure it's going to be an AD Nidalee down that bottom lane. We don't tend to see AP Nidalee much these days. It was, in fact, the one yesterday was definitely an AD.
Yeah, Triforce is generally the item Zion Spartan goes there.
I remember seeing Infantry Edges on as well. He did get very fed in that game. It's not really one to read into, as it is at the moment. Where is Crumbs thinking of switching lane, or is he just going to go ward there? He hasn't got any wards on him, so he's not going to be warding. He has got 4 pots on him, though. And at the moment, we're seeing Nunu with a bit of an invade here.
Ooh, we might end up running into Dominate. This could be a dangerous gank for Crumbs. He was just back there because he was worried about the Nunu since he doesn't have wards, and now this is potentially very dangerous. He's going to have to burn Flash for sure.
Yeah, Crumbs is going to get caught out. That's going to be the Ice Blast. That's going to slow him down. Tries to shield up, tries to not use Flash. He's trying everything he can. There's the Flash burned up, but it might be too late. That's going to be first blood. It is Zion Spartan that picks it up. Just tried to delay that Flash, didn't want to waste it, and instead pays for it with his life and still used it in the first place.
He was trying to get to a point where he could flash into the tower and deter Team Dynamic from flashing after them, but nope, Zion Spartan was not deterred by the tower. He could not get quite deep enough.
Get taken low as well. Patoy, the ignite down, 1 more shot will be enough, and that's going to be Zig picking up the kill, but Zig might go down as well. He will do. That's going to be I'm a Cutie Pie. Will he be able to finish this one off? I think Pixel's just going to walk away from that one. A 1-for-1 trade, top lane.
All in all, that trade's actually going to be in the benefit of Ezreal because he gets to continue farming, whereas Corki has died and has to run all the way back to base. So even though they traded kills with 80 carries, Ezreal's going to get more gold out of that exchange.
The damage done on that bottom tower is pretty huge. Nintendo X helping
wow.
out. They've already shredded over half the health of that bottom turret as well. So immediately going very aggressive style. Scarra taken down pretty low in that mid lane as well. The team dynamic really taking it to Dignitas in this first game. Dominate needs to get himself involved in this one. Had got that red buff, didn't go for the blue quite so early where I had it on. Obviously hasn't made much use of it. Really coming out the kills early on. We saw it earlier on the blue stream actually. It was CLG Black this morning. Actually, I tell a lie. It was TSM Evo. Were really dominant, completely just took everything away from the opposition Scarra. Had no blue buff, no nothing throughout the whole game, which really absolutely hampers him.
Scarra, I can remember, one of the most blue reliant mids. He loves to spam his skills to get absolutely every single minion kill. So much of his strategy revolves around just optimal farming and just trying to be annoying. Dominate.
Is that a fond memory of a jungler there, or is
it's a little fun. It's not bitter. It's just Scar is an amazing, amazing AP mid.
He takes my blue all the time, along with your wraiths and your fault.
To be fair, I was one of the. I liked my blue as well, so it was a small point of contention.
It wasn't overly important on Udyr much, which was your main jungler at the time.
It was fairly. He did give me a blue on Udyr at level 7. And that was about it.
Just that once. Just that one time. Looks like it is going to be Team Dynamic going for that blue, though. They're going to try and invade it and take it away from Gragas. So he's not going to be too fond here because Scarra's going to be missing that one. You can see that actually Skarna's well away. The blue buff is not up at the moment. It will be up in around about 30 seconds time, which is what they're delaying for. And I expect Skarna to be heading straight back there. Dominate going to try and cover it off. And you can see, obviously they're aware of the situation. And if anything, Nintendo X is delaying quite a lot of time here. He's just been running back and forward between the Tribush and the blue buff without really doing a lot. He's got that Oracle on as well, obviously trying to clear out any wards. There is nothing.
They're wanting to get this blue, and he's just making sure they have vision control. They will run into a bit of trouble here because Dominate's level 6, and he has his ultimate. This could be really bad for Nintendo. He has Oracles. He could lose it.
He could well lose it. Dominate's going to go towards him and just keep him away there. You can see Scarra coming across as well. He's going to have Paradoxical just about peeking around there. And actually, the way they're stacking at the moment, this is perfect placing for Orianna's ulti. They could really do a lot of damage here. They're going to go diving in. Skarna's managed to look on towards Nintendo next. That's going to be Nintendo going down there. That's going to be the Oracle burnt straight away. Paradoxical, though, is going to go pick up one kill. Straight away turning around. Skarna is trying to get in there. One more kill for Team Dynamic. And they just hang it out. They do manage to pick it up, but that's going to be Corky going down. It's Paradoxical. He's going to have to walk away from this one. I'm not too sure if he's going to have the damage or be able to escape here. I think IBQTPie will finish it off. Yes, it will. Very nicely done. And the blue buff, of course, goes across to IBQTPie in that top lane.
That was just both teams throwing down and going all in. 7 deaths in all, and Ezreal walks away with the blue buff. I was curious whether Dignitas was going to want to go for that.
As well, I think
it was just the one Oracles. I could be wrong. Owl Dominate might have had one. I know for sure Nintendo went down with one. 4 kills there going down on Ezreal, and that's going to be huge trouble for that top lane. So an unsuccessful engage by Team Dynamic there, losing the Oracles, not getting the blue buff, and feeding Ezreal.
Yeah, that certainly gave him a lot of gold off the back of that one. That's going to help him for that Triforce. 1,500 gold in him already. Could go back and buy a Sheen or that Zeal, whichever he chooses, and definitely going to cause problems. Meanwhile, down this bottom lane, didn't see either of these making any moves, and they're continuing that farm down the bottom. 55 CS between both teams. And Zion Spartan just about being forced back, and this is the point, though, where you said he was definitely going to come into his own. He's hit level 7. He's going to become a lot stronger. Yeah, so both Rumble and Nidalee actually hit pretty strong spikes at level 9 or level 7 and 9. Just so much base damage in Rumble's Flame Spitter, and then Nidalee gets the Cougar form at level 6. So I still do give the edge to Nidalee. Zion Spartan wants to make a very isolated game right now. He's going to just try to push down this tower, then the next one, and then the next one, and that's really just how he plays Nidalee. Not trying to join into the team fight until he's built up a huge advantage, trying to split push the entire time. Yeah, I'm a key spike in. Obviously, the benefit of this blue buff, and we've seen Scarra possibly coming round. The pings were going down, though. And Paradoxical's also been pinged by Dignitas. They knew he was coming up to help out, so they're just going to back off, and wisely so. Dignitas, as it stands at the moment, they have got that big advantage of IBQTPie in that top lane. He's going to be able to go back and buy at some point. I guess he's going to wait till the blue buff runs out. There's no reason to go back right now. He's got full health. Now, actually, what's he leveling out here on Ezreal? Because it's been a point of difference between the AD carries. He has leveled up that Essence Flux. 4 points into Essence Flux. It really varies on the play style. It really does. They're going for a poke-heavy lane here with the Sona, so it's all about Patoy maxing his Q and Ezreal maxing the W, so they're just trying to poke out Corki and Taric.
Tarek's more about his aggression in the lane, not so much about his sustain. It's a small heal that he has, and most Tarek's level up Shatter, as Pixel also has 3 points in that armor buff. So Essence Flux dealing magic damage, yet another reason to level it up, trying to get that harass in.
We've just seen I will dominate being harassed in that bottom lane. He was trying to keep Zion Spartan away from that turret. That bottom turret actually very low on health. You can see just 485 health remaining on it. Zion Spartan's actually going to get Flame Spitter spat on him, but he was not ready for that. Crumbs with a foul flash. That's surely going to be the death room. Armor Dominate's going to come in. He's going to lock his ulti on. Surely that's going to be a straight easy kill, though. And it will be Zion Spartan picking up yet another kill that bottom lane, 2-0. And honestly, that's going to get scary for Crumbs down there. Once you start losing out in that 1v1 lane, I expect the turret to go down here. Zion Spartan, this will be the first turret of the game for Team Dynamic. Nidalee not afraid to take towers in 1v1 lanes. He's just going to continue pushing. That opens up the Dragon play
that was
for
ulti mid.
I just saw the ulti mid last second. It was Skara. Is he going to go down? Yes, he will. Paradoxical picking up the kill. Just got a brief glimpse of it as we passed through there. And that was going to be an easy, straight 1v1 kill as well. And that is not a good sign for Skara. Skara probably just getting a little bit too greedy, trying to get some last hits before going back. Paradoxical getting it in, and now they're turning this into a Dragon. So the tower, the Dragon, the global gold actually adding up a bit, and Team Dynamic opening up a bit of a lead. Now opening up a lead. They're looking good for it, but of course you have got that AD carry, I'm a Cutie Pie, with the big advantage in the top lane. So will that carry on to things, or will Zion Spartan be able to continue pushing? Almost Hotshot GG style of Season 1, I guess you could say. That Hotshot Nidalee GG used to be made famous for it. Doesn't play it anymore. Now he's in Jungle. Jungle George. What do you think of Jungle George, actually, now we're talking about him? I think he's done, I mean, we haven't seen him much in North America. When I saw him at MLG Anaheim, he actually did quite well. It was mainly just his FU with the world to say, hey, you're supposed to gank top all the time. That's what I kept telling people. And then he ganked top all tournament, and they finished second, nearly won it. People are catching on to that strategy a little bit, so he needs to innovate a bit more, start doing some different things. Overall, though, I think he's a strong enough tactical player that the jungle can work for him. It was just a matter of wrapping up his mechanical skill on junglers. So we're getting a switch around here. Zion Spartan going up towards the top. He's going to be up against a much more stronger I'm a Cutie Pie, who has just been back and bought. Looking very strong indeed in that bottom lane. Trinity. Actually, no, he's switched to a BF sword. So he's gone full on aggression. Realised obviously he got fed early on. Thought, fine, I'm going to ditch the Trinity Force early on and just get straight in for possibly Infinity Edge. He might be going for a Bloodthirster. That's what a lot of Ezreals do, but I'm a Cutie Pie typically does kind of whatever he wants with his builds as they go down potentially another gank onto Crumbs. He's in big trouble. Really getting picked on here. That's going to be the stun down. Easy dazzle there. That's going to be the ulti coming out from Crumbs, but he's not going to be able to do a great deal about it. And it will be Ziggs picking up that kill in that bottom lane. Very aggressive stop. But meanwhile, Dignitas do push down that top turret and they're also going to continue pushing on. There is a two-man push from Paradoxical and Nintendo X on that mid turret. Skara's finally returning to it, but he doesn't want to get too close to it. Meanwhile, this top line, they do not want to lose out on this inhibitor turret. Sorry, the inner turret. Oh, and that's going to be the spear catching I'm a Cutie Pie in the backside, but Skara just about fending off that mid turret. They lost a hell of a lot of hit points, so at the moment it is a full-on turret push from both teams. They're just trying to push on that bottom lane, pretty much unhinged as well, so they will be able to take down a lot of damage on that bottom turret. Meanwhile, top turret has gone down, and the rest of Team Dynamic are starting to react to this one, but they will take down the bottom inner turret of their own, so still keeping things 2-on-2, even in the middle as well. You can see Paradoxical, if we go to the mid lane, Crumbs is just going to bat them off here. They are going to go towards the middle lane. There's the explosive casket coming out. Explosive cask. I've got to get it right. Cask and casket. Well, I got picked up on that one while I was in Gamescom. But Paradoxical and Nintendo Dex. Nintendo Dex take him down very low. Dignitas turning this into a possible push on that mid lane. So much pushing going on right now. So much pushing, and they are going to surely get in there. Paradoxical, of course, does have his ulti. He'll be able to just keep them at bay and try and defend off this turret. Now Zion Spartan's going to come around. That spear's going to go in the backside of Skara. Of course, not quite as crazy damage you would get from an AP champion. So quick recap on what actually just happened there. Dignitas pushing 2 towers in the top lane down, and Team Dynamic tried to counter by taking mid and inner bottom turret at the same time. However, both those turrets still have a sliver of health, so that currently puts the global gold closer to tied in Dignitas for Dignitas because they were farther behind before those 2 tower pushes. It's really just accelerating the game. Once these turrets go down, teams become much less safe. It's much more likely that team fights will happen just because vision is reduced and teams are more dangerous, don't have as many turrets to fall back into. I think that actually gives the advantage right now to Team Dynamic since they're a mid-game based kind of pick CC team. They want to split push, they want to roam, they want to force skirmishes, and the accelerated game is in the advantage of that team composition. Okay, so thinking back to Poland with Rumble, we're seeing the same build coming out. Obviously there's been nerfs since then. How do you stand on the Magic Pen still builds that are still being pushed out here with the Haunting Guys and the Sorcerer Shoes?
I think they're really, really smart, and I'm surprised we haven't seen them earlier. Just even with the nerfs on Rumble, the base damage on that Flame Stitter is still 370 before you get the 25% bonus from being in Danger Zone. So getting the Magic Penetration to deal the base damage stronger is the right thing to do on Rumble, and every Rumble, in my opinion, should do it.
And how do you stand with Scar? Actually, Scar's going to get through that explosive casket. He's not going to quite catch on. Paradoxical was the target. And you can see that I Will Dominate trying to get onto him. There's the Rumble ulti. That's going to slow him down. I Will Dominate hooks on. That's going to be Paradoxical getting dropped. And that's going to be a 5-man Dignitas now turning it into an aggression. Diving onto that turret. Surely will take down that mid turret as we push forward. There's the Ezreal ulti trying to drive them back. But Team Dynamic are just fending this one off as much as they can. Zion Spartan coming around the side. They might be able to catch on to Crumbs there. That's going to be the absolute zero coming out. Nintendo Dex. But the crescendo. Perfect time by Patoy there, proving why he's managed to put it back into that team. Dignitas going to continue on this one. They should be able to take down Pixel. Can they finish it off? That's going to be the turret now. So I Will Dominate, tanking it up. Zion Sponge trying to catch him out. He gets him in the back there. Very nice turnaround. Scar does take the turret down eventually. Dignitas may well be able to turn this one into a second turret, and they're just going to keep them at bay. Zion Spartan trying his best to keep them off with those spears, and he will manage to drive them away eventually. But a great attack from Dignitas there.
That all started when they caught Para out of position on Orianna and just forced the 4v5. Then Team Dynamic tried to flank around a little bit, and that proved to be fatal as well. A lot of deaths for Team Dynamic. So much pressure coming out from Dignitas, and I'm actually a little curious whether they're practicing just this fast push strategy that they've seen happen so well from, you know, Azubu Frost, TSM, all these teams that are picking it up, because this isn't the typical Dignitas style I've seen. This is something a little bit new, maybe part of their practice regimen.
Yeah, so as it stands, 9-8 in kills, very much even, 3-2 in turrets. Dignitas with that advantage after that push. But you can see Team Dynamic are starting to stack up. They're going to go, I think Dragon's due any minute, 17, yeah it is. So Dragon's going to be picked up by Team Dynamic here. You can see, I Will Dominate's coming around. He has got Smite available. Are they in a position, though, Dignitas, to respond to this one? I don't think they are. I think they're going to have to back away from this one and allow Team Dynamic to have that Dragon that gets leashed straight out. And that's going to get picked up for free. Or Team Dynamic. That's going to give them a slight gold advantage, gives them that about 1k push on Dignitas, which is really nothing at 18 minutes into this game. Now, what I was going to pull to is the fact that Rabadon's Death Cap's been picked up by Scar straight off the bat here. Now, we've seen a lot of Abyssal Scepters and Death by Grasps normally on Gragas of late, but he's gone straight for that Rabadon's Death Cap.
It is a little surprising to me. This is one thing, though. If Gragas wants to clear the entire creep wave with a barrel, you get more ability power because creeps don't necessarily have magic resistance. Scar does love to farm minions. That could be one of the reasons he has the Death Cap. From a straight killing the enemy mid potential, the Magic Penetration and the Sorcerer Shoes are more beneficial. But Scar went for the Death Cap, mainly just pops more AoE damage on creeps is my imagination.
Shirelli is popped by Dominate there. He wanted a hook on. I think it's Paradoxical. You can see he's going to try and hedge towards there. That's going to be Scar knocking someone out. It is going to be a crescendo across down that bottom lane. They do manage to just blow Corki away, and that's going to be a double kill picked up. Corki's on nothing, so he can't get involved in this fight. Dignitas might be able to turn this one into an inhibitor turret. Paradoxical just about keeping them away with that big wave there, and Zion Spartan, of course, throwing those spears out. Has got Trinity Force complete now. He's going to try and have to work hard to keep them off this one. Paradoxical needs to get back involved, but again, he is on absolutely no health. He's having to stay a long distance away. They're going to pop that ulti. He gets Skara down. Zion Spartan just about zips away, managing to pick up that kill. And you can see I'm a Cutie Pie does not want to give up on this one. He's going to have to zip away. Arcane shift through. Oh, wow. Zig's gone very aggressive there. That is some ballsy play. The spear just about missing Crumbs' backside there. A quick cue from I'm a Cutie Pie is going to force him at bay. And Zion's not giving up on this one. He might be able to get another leap. Oh, but they turned straight around on Dignitas. You can't just chase down a 4-man team. They will be able to react as one and turn straight in your face.
So many pretty plays going down there, even from the start of the tower push. Scar's ultimate split 2 members directly into Patoy's crescendo. It was just like music to watch. I swear it was so well executed. Got them the tower. And then from there, a great play by Team Dynamic to stop, using Nidalee as a channeling atmosphere for Orianna's ball to get a kill and push them off that tower. Really crisp play by both teams, until a little bit of a mistake by Zion Spartan. Everything else was great.
A little bit over-aggressive, I think it is. Skara, though, has gone back. He's picking up the blue buff now. I would Dominate. I think it was... He didn't quite hook onto anyone. They really wanted to get him Paradoxical. But Corki was thrown backwards so early on there. He just couldn't get involved. Nintendo Dex there helping out Paradoxical to pick up that blue buff. And as it is, Dignitas stacking once again. Did they really do a great deal of damage to that mid-turret? I don't think they did they? They managed to hit it a fair bit.
They got a lot of it, actually.
Yeah, they've took a lot of it down. 480 hit points just remaining on it, so that could just be one sweet push from Dignitas. They could easily finish that one off. Of course, Paradoxical's ultimate is back up now. Actually, no, it's just about a couple of seconds off, so they need to try and delay as much as they can, because that ultimate's going to be vital when they come for that fight. It's going to be I Will Dominate. It's going to launch himself in there. Keep your eye on that Raleigh possibly going to get popped by him. It's going to speed him in there once that shield gets popped as well.
So with all this pushing that Dignitas has been doing, I thought it was going to force a bit of a skirmish type game, but because they're so concertedly pushing together, they're actually grouping up Team Dynamic and taking out the utility of Nidalee in a lot of ways, forcing Zion Spartan to be with his team. He's not able to split push anything, and Tarek's not allowed to roam around and create advantages with good stuns. So it's really Team Dignitas is containing Dynamic very, very well. In straight up 5v5 team fights, Dignitas is much better comped.
They're reacting very well here though, Dynamic. They realized that Amakuta pipes down the side, dominates, popped his Raleigh as he's going to try and catch onto someone, but that slow comes out from Paradoxical, keeps him at bay there, and now you can see the poke comes out, just dodging those spears. Skara rolling out the barrel, but he didn't quite catch on towards Nintendo Udex. They both definitely want to fight here. If I could get my words out. Team Dynamic though, being the aggressor, which does surprise me here. They realized that Dignitas were slightly out of position. Now they're thinking, yeah, okay, Dignitas back in a defensive formation. We don't think we can push against this.
Zion Spartan, also the majority of the gold for Team Dynamic with the Trinity Force. He really, really wants to go split push, but Team Dignitas keeping all 5 together, grouping around and just clearing wards, pushing turrets. It's not allowing him to roam away. And I'm surprised that Team Dynamic is so forward in this position, because I do think they have a pretty big disadvantage in this next team fight if it happens.
Yeah, you can see Crumbs trying to get in position. They want to get on Paradox. You can see Dominate every time. It's just like, pop that shield. I can get in. I can get him. No, I can't. That's going to be the barrel. That's just going to blow them away, though. There was no chance. That was far too close, far too far away. Only Ever was going to knock him back that one way. Just do a bit of poke, though. That ultimate's actually pretty quick cooldown on that, isn't it? It's only about a 50-second cooldown timer, I believe, probably around about this time. Paradoxical, though. Oh, hello. We just spotted Ezreal off the side there, and Zion Spartan spotted him as well. Amakuta Pike very much away from his team. And as it is, Team Dynamic going to continue trying to shove on here. Not too sure how long's left on that blue buff, but I Will Dominate. He's not able to get close. He can't close the distance because with Zion Spartan on Nidalee, with Corki, they're just keeping it a very long range. And of course, that Orianna slow is just popping in his face every time.
Both teams actually have fairly strong kiting mechanics. If Team Dynamic wanted to initiate onto Dignitas, the Sona ult is one of the best counter initiates in the game. You want people to run straight into it. And it's just the longer this pokefest mid lane with back and forth and really only farming one lane goes, the better it is for Dignitas, because there's no skirmishes happening, and the later the game goes, I think the greater Dignitas' chances become.
So Dignitas, as it is at the moment, you can see Dominate just off the side. There was a ping actually onto Paradoxical. They're like, we think we can get him here, we can pick him off, and he's backed off straight away. Not going to fall for it because they've got ward placements actually up that lane phase. So you can see where they're around there. Scar's trying to take away those wolves, and he will do. And it looks like it's going to be the inner turret on the bot lane they're going to turn their attention to here. And as it is, Team Dynamic not really in a position to get across here. If they come across, they're going to have to come across 2 wards.
And they're going to go right into this dragon.
Straight into the dragon. They do have vision of them just at the side there. There's Pixel, comes straight around, puts that ward down, gets vision clearly on it. I Will Dominate with that. Oracle's going to manage to poke it down, though. And that barrel just being poked and flaunted in Pixel's face. I think they're going to start off in a moment, though. You can see just the poke range from both teams is pretty huge. And they're just trying to catch onto something. Orianna was trying to come around the side. Paradoxical, though, not going to go for it. They're going to continue that creep wave. Paradoxical has actually been split off pretty heavily.
Potentially be a free tower for
Spartan
Dignitas.
actually is pushing on down that bottom lane. Sorry, the middle lane. He's going to try and dive onto it. There's I Will Dominate. Manages to hook onto Paradoxical straight towards the tower. And the belly slam from Skara straight in his face. He dropped in second. Zion Spartan's pushing the mid lane. Meanwhile, this is happening. But Dignitas, they need to be careful because Dignitas could run straight on towards the inhibitor tower. I'm not too sure Team Dynamic can be able to defend this one. You can see that Crumbs is getting very aggressive in that top area. They happen to take down half the turret. Nintendo Udex is going to try and pop up to 0. Is it going to be enough? Crumbs taking a lot of damage. Crumbs is surely going to drop eventually here. It will be Pixel that takes him down.
Skara trying to go in.
On it. Skara goes aggressive, and that is going to be Zion Spartan taking down the middle in the turret. Very nicely done. They managed to hold off really well. I was not expecting Dignitas to get quite popped out there. And Patoy.
Oh, Zion Spartan's flanking around from the back.
Cutie Pie's in trouble here. He's going to get the shatter on him. It's not quite going to be enough damage there. The exhaust is going to keep Nintendo Dex away, and Pixel's going to take a lot of damage in his backside, and there comes Ziggs to try and turn it out. Valkyrie straight to his face. Zion Spartan comes around. He should be able to close down Patoy as well. He's going to get another leap on him, and Patoy's surely going to drop down. He's not even got any mana to keep away from this one. He just gives up and stops.
Wow. Team Dynamic, 4 kills. They managed to force skirmishes, actually. They got the dive in onto the tower, and even though that was all 5 members of Dignitas, they were very split up once that Nunu ult went down. They isolated Crumbs, picked him off, and then from there it was a 2 or 3v2, and Zion Spartan came up from the back to finish it. The split push action is what Team Dynamic needs more of. It's very risky to do now, though, with that tower being so low. It's really just, they can only split push as long as they don't have exposed inhibitors, and until that time, it's going to be close.
Oh, Zion Spartan actually getting really much in the wrong place there. He suddenly realized in a 2-on-1 situation, has to back away. And they were trying to leash out the Baron. You can't leash out the Baron, start on the Baron. Although, back in the old days, I do recall a certain Poppy that could push the Baron around the map. Doesn't happen anymore.
Baron is no longer movable.
Yeah, indeed.
Slight tweak.
Team Dynamic. Just going to back away from this one. Scar, they had that ward in place. Scar's going to dive
Dominate.
in. I will dominate. We'll be able to hook on towards Pixel, and this should trigger off a Baron straight off the back of this one. Pixel's trying to get away. Pops his ulti. He's got Ziggs trying to help him out, but he's not going to be able to get away from this one. And will Dignitas try and turn this into a quick Baron push? Not really the ideal champion, but it's better than nothing taking down the support. And they're going to try and turn it maybe into a straight push. A spear straight in Scar's face.
Dignitas doing a really good job at starting engagements. I will dominate, finding the right angles and getting a lot of clutch Skarner ults off. This tournament I've actually seen a lot of Skarner and a lot of Skarners who can't actually start fights. Dominate is doing it extremely effectively, so props to Dignitas for all the aggression and how many fights they've initiated with a quick advantage.
The damage on that barrel onto Paradoxical there was pretty huge. You can see the Abyssal Scepter has been picked up by Rumble. That's the explosive cast. Managed it to land, and beautifully done from Dignitas. That's going to force Team Dynamic back away from this inhibitor. They can't defend it. They're all on about half health. They have to back away. They're going to go aggressive. There's Zion Spartan, you can see, he's going to continue on. I will dominate there. Another spear comes out, and that's forcing Dignitas back a little bit from this inhibitor. They're still not taking it down, but Team Dynamic, that's actually gave them a little bit of a breather to get back to the fountain, to try and heal up as quick as possible. They are going to lose the inhibitor from it, but it is enough that they can save that Nexus turret, so nobody's going to be able to push too heavily onto that one, but Dignitas with a very nice initiate once again.
Finally, they get that first inhibitor. That's just going to rally or corral up Team Dynamic even more. Zion Spartan, despite being 6-1, is going to have a lot of issues trying to make team fights happen unless they can split up and make him very isolated. I want to talk actually a bit about Skara's build again. You said, why would he go Death Cap as there's a force on Baron? It's a slightly different item path. Actually, this is too much happening right now. Team Dynamic forcing onto a Baron. Team Dignitas having to stop that, all running in.
Yeah, they are going to run in. It's down to about half health already, the Baron. Here comes Dignitas. Dominate's trying to get in there. He can't run through that slow, and actually they've had to peel off. Wow, Ziggs has already been taken down very low, and actually the Baron finished off Ziggs at the back there. There's going to be the Orianna ulti, and Team Dynamic going to try and back away from this one. Dominate's surely going to pop his Shirelli as he's going to try and hook onto someone just at the top of your screen. Ziggs is going to go away. It is Paradoxical they're going to close in on. He's surely not going to be able to get away from this one. The barrel from Skara doing so much damage, nearly chunked down half his health in one single barrel, and immediately Team Dynamic, they had to do something, and that wasn't
Desperation play.
Desperation play coming out, and Dignitas looking strong to take this top inhibitor.
Even though the overall gold is really close in this game, it's not about the state of the game. So many towers being pushed down by Dignitas. Team Dynamic really pushed up against the wall of their base. They thought that a Baron rush was going to be what they needed, and the flash initiate by I Will Dominate.
Zion Spartan getting caught out by I Will Dominate there. That's going to be the ultimate crescendo coming out there, and actually Nintendo Dex trying to pop the absolute zero. There's the barrel, wasn't quite enough to finish off Zion Spartan, turning around, slapping that barrel in Pixel's face. And at the moment, Ziggs is trying to do as much as he can on the backside of Army Cutie Pie. Can he manage to finish him off? He just needs one more stun, one dazzle to come out from Pixel. Meanwhile, Nintendo Dex is taking down Patoy in that top lane. Patoy just trying to I'm just trying to back, guys. Just leave me alone.
There was no escaping the Nunu train, and Batoy just gave up his fate. Saw if Nintendo would take mercy on him. He unfortunately did not.
No chance, not with a free kill like that. 15-15, all squaring kills, but 7-3. Dignitas clear advantage in the gold as well, but it is only 500 gold. It's not that big a deal. So, item-wise, item builds, how do you see this stacking out?
So we have Aegis of the Legion on both teams. There is an Abyssal Scepter coming up from Rumble, which gives the Gragas magic penetration, actually getting the Source Shoots and the Abyssal Scepter effect for Skara with that Death Cap build. Also, it's a longer path for Scar. If he doesn't want to go Sorc Shoes Abyssal right away, he can do Death Cap, Void Staff, and then still get the late game magic penetration, but not quite as much of an early game spike. That was what I was going to try to get into before the flurry of action just happened. From all that, though, Rumble kind of behind on items, but I'm a Cutie Pie really fed Infinity Edge and a Bloodthirster.
Yeah, just sheer damage coming out from him. Not too worried about that basic attack, just sheer cues to the face are definitely going to be doing a lot of damage. Dignitas trying to drive something up. Still nobody going for that Baron yet. Pretty much Team Dynamic tried and failed. Pretty much forced away from it by Dignitas. Dignitas, you feel, are in the stronger position, despite the fact it is so close. I mean, the gold-wise, 500 gold actually advantage to Team Dynamic, despite the fact they are 3 turrets down, which shows they've been farming pretty well. Those kills, though, all stacking on one champion is always a danger, because once that one champion gets poked, taken out, if Dominate can get on the hook onto Zion Spartan, it would be all over, although Nidalee is a very tricky, greasy champion to try and pin down. Dominate just clearing out those wards in the Baron area. Nintendo X is just going to walk straight in and put another ward straight on top of Scarra's face. There it is. Straight in there. They were very clear on that was coming out. That ward in that bush, giving away all the positions of Team Dynamic. So if they're going to go for it, you can... How did that trap not trigger? Nintendo X just walked straight over it.
It's his own team's trap.
Oh, of course it was, you pillock.
And here comes the fight.
Towards the counter jungler. Nintendo X counter out by Skarner. That's going to be easily taken down. It's actually I Will Dominate that picked up the kill there. And that's going to be straight edge royalty straight across Cork. He's trying to do as much damage as he can, but it's just not enough. Those barrels hitting everyone. I'm a Cutie Pie going to zip in there. Pixar's going to get taken out. Skarner was trying to finish him off there. Actual flashing away. Not really going to escape. He's going towards Team Dignitas' own face. Ziggs is going to get popped down there by Crumbs. And surely Skarner actually going very aggressive straight in there. He's just going to follow on straight towards that inhibitor. The rest of the team going to catch him up. Certainly inhibitor 1 going to go down. Will they be able to push it in towards the Nexus?
There's a surrender.
There is a surrender vote coming out from Team Dynamic. So Dignitas take the first game 1-0, but it was a very close match indeed.
And you really just saw so much pushing potential from Team Dignitas. The gold was actually very close, but the overall feeling of the game was very much in Dignitas' favor. All that gold being down onto Zion Spartan, you saw in that last team fight, he really just got zerged by Skarner and Ezreal, and there wasn't much he could do about it. So the team fights, the pressure, all in Dignitas' favor, showing their experience and a really good game by them.
Yeah, and I Will Dominate was getting himself involved as the Skarner. It's the first top Skarner I've seen for quite a while, other than Diamond Prox, who plays it just plays anything very well, to be fair, Diamond Prox. But yeah, really well played. He managed to get himself involved. He was hooking onto Paradoxical quite a lot, even catching onto the Corky. And there you go, Dignitas, happy with that first game. Have you ever seen Skarner not smiling?
I think he has a permanent smile. If he wasn't smiling, something would be seriously wrong. Oh dear.
Oh, but
there
look
it is.
at that.
No, he's
Something's gone seriously wrong.
Everyone's having too much fun, he thinks. But anyway, great pulls by I Will Dominate, getting involved in almost everything.
And
the smile's back.
Yeah, the grin
There's
is
the
back.
permanentness of it.
He just had a serious moment. Maybe he saw his farm. He thought, I actually didn't do good enough there.
That's true. He spent a lot of time roaming around, and he only outfarmed Paradoxical by 10 minions. So strong play by Skarra. Much more roaming than I've seen from Dignitas in the past. A slight change in playstyle, but going to show with the new lineup, they can play multiple strategies.
Yeah, I Will Dominate, obviously not being able to go to the hairdressers for a while. He's just letting his hair grow out long. Maybe it was a long trip in career, I don't know. But as it is at the moment, Dignitas leading 1-0. This is, of course, the winner bracket. So, you know, even if Team Dynamic were to lose the next match, they're not out of this one. There's a lot of games ahead of you as well tonight. But I guess we're going to jump to a break because Team Dynamic, they're going to have to pull themselves together, pull something out, because Dignitas performed very well in that match. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to have Game 2 coming up in just a moment. It will be Dignitas versus Team Dynamic.